Hi, beloved, and welcome to your message from God Himself. I thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining me, beloved. Let us proceed and see what this is about at this time when you are watching. What's this message about, Father? What's going on? Tap us in here. So, okay. Father is okay. God is saying that this message will be morbid. So it's like remove the delusions of ganja, thinking that this is like a perfect dimension of life where people don't have layers to what they do and who they are, right? So yeah, let's tap into what's going on here. Before I start, I'd like to say that I no longer offer any services whatsoever. Okay, access denied. Restart. Someone wants a restart here with you, okay? Someone wants to redo something with you here. I'm getting like an energy of someone you were entertaining or you were with or you were connected to at a time in your life when you were spiritually evolving to this level that you're on now. So this is someone from your past life, meaning, your evolved self killed your old self. So it's two identities. So I'm splitting the two to the unevolved self before you became who you are now. That person that you were connected to then is seeking a redo, a restart with you before evolution. And evolution can happen in a short time span of 8 months, depending on how much shadow work you do, right? Let's call it that. Shadow work, yeah. Okay, let's see what this is about. Okay, so we have the strength, Leo. Um, we have the chariot here, Cancer, Lucy, and Mary energy. We have two of pentacles here, Virgo. And then we have the star, Aquarius, the portal energy. So we have Lucy and Mary energy, the portal energy, and the Mata and energy here. Okay, so basically what's happening here is I feel like there is someone experiencing a recollection of memories and thoughts, reliving. I feel like somebody is reliving a time in their life when you gave a fuck. A time in their life when you were keen and investing in them or advising them or guiding them. I feel like this is someone you dealt with a while ago, like a long time ago for some of you here. I feel like the narrative of time is important because I feel like this is not someone who has experienced the new you. So this is someone you left behind when you were still getting, figuring things out, figuring your life out, figuring yourself out. It was like someone you left behind here. So we have the Eight of Wands, Sagittarius energy. We have the Page of Cups, Pisces energy. Pisces, Satan told me energy here. And then we have the Five of Swords, Gemini energy, Jacqueline Hyde energy here. So ever since you departed from this person's life, I feel that this person went into a relationship with another person, another masculine energy, who you might know of. Okay, for some of you here, an example, a reference here could be a friend that you had a deep bond with, and then you chose to leave that friend behind, leave her, leave him behind because of your own life path and where it was taking you and how it was clashing with their identity, right? So, however way that went, if it was a friend with benefits or a crush, it was. I feel like this is a narrative of someone who had you and then like lost you, and however way they had you, however that narrative was, this is what they're seeking in their life right now. So I feel like when you departed from their life, they were entertaining other feminine energies or masculine energies, depending on the gender, the sex of this person. They were just interacting with other people within that regard, and I feel like this was because I kind of feel like this. They felt like this is all they have now, or this is what they know. So that's why they did what they did, or that's why they were making these moves. But I feel like with time, this person started seeing things differently as they evaluated how their life is going, looking back at yours when you had been there to when you had walked the same footprints as them, like you were once in their position or in you were once accessible to them. So I feel like that bothers this person, the fact that you were once accessible and now you're not. And I feel like you were so accessible to this person in a form of vulnerability, like you were accessible like that. But I feel like I feel like a karmic energy here, lesson learned energy, where someone came into your life, or you interacted with someone, you spotted someone, you connected with someone, however way someone crossed paths with you here in your journey of life, and it went it could have went both ways, or it could have went things could have went differently. But I feel like this person's decisions and choices were unwise and led to you detaching and finding strength to not really be not really allowing this person's psychological grip to pin you down emotionally, holding you back. You know, I feel like you had to choose yourself here, or this person was going to drown you in their trauma or their lies or their deceit, however way that goes for you. But the narrative remains that this person, they want a restart, they want to redo, they want to have this relationship they once had with you all over again. And that's because I feel like as they're looking at their life, things are not going the way they thought. Whatever promises were made with whoever they thought was more promising, more promising, I feel like that person has disappointed them in many, many ways. And I feel like this makes them miss you even more, because I feel like this person misses your energy more than anything else. They miss your vibe, is what I just literally heard. So I feel like that vibe is specific, yeah, your vibration, you know. I feel like you're elevating and you're becoming high vibrational. So this is attracting back old souls of your past life, okay, where you left your unevolved self behind. I'm being called not to take those. So we have the Eight of Cups out here. This is Scorpio energy. Scorpio, the God complex. Okay. So I feel like when you were around this person, or when this person was experiencing you, it was kind of like you had some form of trauma. This could have been trauma bonding. This could have been psychologically as well. Like I'm getting the narrative. Okay. I'm getting the narrative that this didn't have to be spoken. Like I feel like knowing you energetically, guys, I know that maybe you kept it to yourself. There's some things about this connection you had with this person that you kept to yourself. I feel like you took to the grave with it, like took it to the grave, things you never gonna say out loud, or things that, but I feel like this is this person's energy. I feel like it's switched. I feel like this is the projection I'm reading on someone's energy towards you. So I feel okay, this is what's going on. You walked away from this person. They, God, talk to us, please. So I feel like you're dealing with a spirit of a person who, people are spirits, okay, but I feel like this type of person has a very deceitful spirit. Like you wouldn't suspect certain things from them, certain behaviors, certain thoughts. They come off very innocent, like, they can really, I feel like this is someone who has like this sweet way of speaking, even, or something about them can fool you into thinking that they're this way, but when in actual fact, I feel like this is someone who carries a psychological environment within themselves where they literally have a version of themselves that they internalize, like sort of like internalized euphoria, or you internalize euphoric moments, thoughts, dreams, internalized behaviors that this person dreams of like doing. Okay, I feel like you're dealing with like a suppressed spirit, a suppressed soul, someone in life who never got their freedom or never got to experience some level of freedom due to some form of entrapment. This could be relative, and this is a variety of, there could be a variety of reasons as to why they weren't free. This could be an example, a reference would be financial freedom, restricting them from really doing what they want to do or what they'd love to do, which puts them in a place where they have to vibrate on this vibration of being someone they're not, to please, to sustain, to keep going. Because I feel like the version of themselves they really want to be needs a certain level of freedom that they don't have. Like I said, an example really could be financial freedom here, spiritual freedom, emotional freedom. Someone is in some form of an entrapment. This could be also a psychological entrapment here, psychological freedom, um, of self, someone not seeing themselves clearly. So I feel like now this person, as they've been reevaluating their life after you've departed and after they've been doing their own thing on the side, they're seeing the difference between the life you live and the life they live. And I feel like they now understand you better, looking at you from the outside, like from the outside looking in. They see a different point of view because I feel like there's been a shift in how they feel about you. Yeah, I got it right. This person, I feel like there's something they left unspoken here that is haunting them. Like I feel like someone walked away from you, or you walked away from them, or there was a separation that led to a like this is a disconnected connection from the past here, which ended and was concluded, right? But I feel like when it happened, when the ending, the separation happened, someone here was very overwhelmed. Apart from you being overwhelmed, beloved, not taking away the credibility of your own trauma from this, or your own pain, or some form of your own experience, rather, what I'm saying? Not taking away your experience, but I feel like we are tapping into this person's experience towards you, because I feel like you both had different realities. You were living in different realities. Therefore, the projection of self upon each other was coming from different places, because remember, back then you were a little unhealed within self, and there were certain things you did to contribute to this person being a certain type of way towards you, and vice versa. They did a lot, to put you down as well, or to keep you in a certain state of being, or to deceive you, or to lie to you or about you, whatever tactics, strategies, power tools here someone might have utilized to keep you in some sort of psychological hold and make you believe that there's someone that they're not. Because I feel like this person saw you as someone who was so kind, so caring, but at the same time they knew that there was something from you that they were attracted to. Like, I feel like this was someone who knew what they would get from you, but they came at you as someone who didn't look at things like that. Like, I don't even, like, this was someone who would maybe be like an example, a reference point that I would give about like what type of person this was, or still is, you know. But I feel like they changing. There's a shift happening within them. But an example, a reference would be like someone who's so transparent in who they are and what they want for themselves. Like, you can see that this is the type of person. I feel like you could see that they wanted this lifestyle sort of analogy of the best things of life, or un, unattainable desires for where they were. It's like this was someone who would have plans within their mind on how they're going to achieve or take certain plans and strategic ways of thinking that they internalized. Back to like internalizing their own dialogue within themselves. This is someone completely different inside than what they portray outside. That duality can be very dangerous, because I'm seeing that they really deceived you into believing something about them that wasn't true. I feel like this was about their character, their way of being. Someone was not who you thought they were. I feel like you might have realized this later on after the connection had ended, or you never thought back to it. But whatever you never went back to look, you never looked back. But whatever the narrative is, the truth remains that whoever you are channeling right now as you're watching this, whoever's energy is coming to you, you know, spiritually, intuitively, whoever's tapped, whoever you feel tapped into right now as you're resonating with this is that person. And they that person for a reason. I feel like it could be a little unbelievable or somewhat you lack clarity because someone never showed you that side of them, and it seemed as though they were this sweet person who was positive and just looking at life in a superficial manner, when within them someone was traumatized, unhealed, and lacking emotional stability, projecting that onto everyone but internalizing that dialogue, making them a very sentimental person, like someone who struggles to show empathy to other people. But no, this is someone who struggles to show empathy to other people, but they fake it. You know, like, it's like you would think that they care if they were, I'm sorry, I know that must be so traumatic. Oh, really? Tell me. Like, someone is a liar here. I feel like they were and they still are here. Someone was a liar and they still are a liar, even with the current evolution of life that they're facing due to whatever tower has hit them. I feel like the tower is coming from the time that has passed. You know, time waits for no man. And whatever you think you have planned for yourself, you know what they say? You want to make God laugh? Make plans, you know? And I feel like this person was living in some internalized euphoria of self that was based on a persona that they wanted, like an imaginary persona, you know, or an imaginary life or imaginary reality. You know, fantasies are a real thing, and you become delusional once you spend a lot of time within that state of being or state of mind within this instance, right? Because I feel like the tower that hit here is like some form of self actualization. Some form of self actualization occurred within this person's life. Like an example, like, I know this is like, you know, but I want to give you an example about like the type of shock it would bring, the type of shock something brought upon someone, like how the tower impacted this person from an emotional standpoint would come from a narrative and a reference point of telling someone that they're pregnant when someone um someone's plan for their whole life was not to be pregnant. Wouldn't that come as a, wouldn't you be afraid, you know, that character of being that is within and external, it starts to shift because like you're experiencing an emotional deflection a reality you don't want. And I feel like this is what happened to this person, a deflection of a reality they don't want. They thought things were going to happen this way, or things were going to go this way, or this was the direction, or this was the way. But then I feel like a tower struck when something happened that led them to believe otherwise, for whatever the cause was to it, whatever the vessel was, whatever the catalyst was. You could have been this. But I feel like it's not just you. Even if it is, I feel like there are other variables. Like this person, I feel like they've been dating, they've been drinking, they've been smoking, they've been doing life on their terms, right? And I feel like what you might feel in this message, or energetically, if you do feel this person, I don't know how deep this goes within the bond you had, because it varies for everyone. But however way this resonates, I feel like you need to understand that you're dealing with someone somewhat of a predatory energy who hides in plain sight. I feel like you're dealing with a cusp, like a cusp energy, someone who was born in the middle of, two signs, two star signs, zodiac signs here, and embodies that duality within self, in that reference point of the psychological self within, and then the external self that they portray, which makes them imaginary, because you never know if what you're getting is true. There's no solidification of identity within self, because this person's constantly fluctuating. There's no stillness. There's just a lot of propaganda, projection, and analysis of people, data, themselves, things. It's like someone just lives a horrific life because, like, they're not honest with themselves. This is someone that lied to you about how they feel about you here. Them being non honest led to them losing out on an opportunity they could have had with you, or some form of access here. Because this person is a liar, I feel like it caught up to them, and here we are now because they held back. Someone lied to you about how they felt here about you, truly. Someone kept you in the dark, or kept you guessing, or like portrayed an act of being like only a friend here, or a buddy, or a colleague, or like someone came through, or like an acquaintance. Someone came through with a portrayal of self to deceive you into believing something about them that wasn't true. Because I feel like, firstly, this person thought you were way out of their league. Already, they had some form of belittling mentality that clashed with their self entitlement. I feel like you triggered their self esteem unintendedly. That's the thing. I feel like you were just the experience, but how you received this person, how they portrayed themselves to you, is not who they truly were. Inside, they were feeling different things. Like, this could be like let's give an example, a reference, an analogy to simplify us into one narrative, so we see where we go in here. Because the title might be confusing up to this point, 24 minutes in. But relative to this message, it's like, I feel like this is someone who wanted something different apart from what they actually had with you. So now they're at a point in their life where they can't accept that you've departed into a new venture of life. You out of reach, so far out of reach. Because already when you were in reach, they felt like you were inaccessible, like you're too high vibrational, or they won't be able to take you. Because they knew they were faking themselves already. So they thought that like, they thought that you'd be unreceptive, because already they were projecting an imaginary character that, maybe they thought you would fall in love with, whether it's on friendship terms, or on a deeper level, or colleague, acquaintance. Take it how it resonates. But there is somewhat of a shapeshifter energy that crossed your path, that lied to you, or portrayed a different self other than what they were actually feeling. And here we are with them living with this energy, wanting to restart, redo. what was they want to it's like what was undone, what can't be undone. They want to redo what can't be undone, because I feel like you've really, like, you've moved on. I feel like you could care less, to be honest. Like that's just truthfully speaking. I feel like you live in your life, you're walking in the path and the purpose of God. And I feel like you are choosing yourself at this time, because you're realizing that there is some beast living within someone, and that someone was being fed energetically by you, this beast within them. So what that means is, this person, if this was, I feel like this literally could even be same sex, like majority. I feel like this really is, or like 50%. I feel like the narrative is 50% same sex, could be same sex, and 50% straight, heterosexual here, linear, straight. So I feel like, this was someone who might have been confused about their sexual preference, or confused if you would want them like that. If they weren't the same sex, they were just confused if you would want them like that. And if they were the same sex, they just thought they weren't fitting the criteria or the blueprint. So they wanted to make something up. Same if they weren't same sex, they just wanted to create something out of themselves that they thought you would attach yourself to, or you'd be attached, or you'd love them, or you'd want to care for them. But I feel like you genuinely just liked someone's energy here. I see that you had a connection with someone. I feel like you cared. But I feel like you cared for the wrong person, because they were feeding onto you the wrong way, energetically wanting to, like vampirism here, energy. This was someone who was looking at you to be like an example would be, a reference, an analogy would be a money bank. Looking at someone else. This doesn't have to be the only narrative, but just take this analogy how it applies. Money bank, energy bank, you know, emotional bank. You had something, a lot of it, and they felt like you were abundant in it, and they wanted to attach themselves to that in a form of portraying a self character they felt like would have you where they want you, like in the connection. This like could literally be like a psychological grip they wanted to have upon you, keep you in some form of, this is like emotional manipulation, like here. I feel like this is exactly that. This is literally that. Someone here played with your emotions, tried to gain your trust. Someone here was a dog with it though, because I feel like here we are, they barking now, barking at the fact, at their own bite. It's like someone betrayed your trust, and now they blaming you for moving on, as if you bitter, or like you don't work on yourself enough to actually speak what you say, or be on what you're on now. I just feel like someone here has you mistaken, because of the projections that they place upon you, because of the projections on themselves. Already they pretending. Can you just imagine living like that, in constant fluctuation of self, and then going to the outside, having to see what act to portray, who fits what? Like, that's so tiring. Like, spiritually, it must be so draining to be this person, having to do what you need to do to get what you need to get out of people. Like, that's some user energy. That's why I feel like this person emotionally manipulated you by making you think something that was untrue. And already that's a solidification of a red flag of someone who has deep trauma, a beast within, that someone has not healed due to the mark of the beast they have. Some deep shit that they haven't addressed, or they haven't healed from. And you are just there, them projecting it, them feeling like you to blame, somewhat a cause to this, or you could have helped them get out of this, but you chose to leave them behind. I just feel like someone feels entitled to your help when they never did anything for you except bring you some form of discomfort. I feel like that's why you disconnected from this person. It wasn't resonating with your spirit because you were not on the same vibration and you were alert because you are not stuck in the same loop that they're stuck in still now. You just wanted to lay a hand and someone wanted your whole arm and face and legs. Someone just was an elusive cunt of a person who saw an opportunity within your reality, within who you were, within your identity, and what you supposedly could offer to them. And then they bagged you however way they thought they did until the illusion faded. And now, because you're not living in the illusion, they're upset. How dumb, how pathetic. But hey, people will be people, okay? Just stay away from that vibration. This was just spiritual news so that you know you tapped in and you don't get fooled by, crybaby energy or vampirism energy coming from someone of your past, okay, who wants to return and may reach out, okay? So this is just basically a warning. Be careful here. You don't want to set yourself back because someone is coming with their own burdens that don't need to be on your shoulders. So just detach, stay detached, and move on with your life, okay? Don't ignore them in a hastily manner of, oh, I don't care, whatever. Like, you don't, though. You know what I'm saying? It's not about them. Like, you can never give someone that power to bother you or make you feel like that. Like, what? Nah, bro. We here as individuals to learn our own lessons and walk this path. And whoever decides to bitch out about it because of whatever reason is their fault. Ain't nobody is owed some form of comfort because we all had to give it to ourselves. Hence, we're here, right? No one pats you on the back. Don't fuck with me. Whoever this person thinks they are, they gotta grow the fuck up because life is gonna swallow them whole if they think they can keep going like this. Who they think they are, they're gonna crash face first. Nothing more, nothing less. That's all from me. I love you guys. Really hope you enjoyed this message and it brought you some form of comfort to your soul, your mind, your heart, as well as your spirit. Okay. Thank you for your time. I value it and I truly appreciate you. Bye.